Oh, well, were we recording a second ago when I asked you if you've ever been to play?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
You said, have I ever been to a play?
Yeah.
And I said, play on, playa.
Play out, play out.
Yeah, I have. Yeah. Gene and I have been to a couple things on Broadway. And then we went we saw Wicked here in Little Rock.
Oh, sweet.
That was fantastic.
Was it pretty nice?
It was actually, so what's wild about, yes, I have. So I'll just say it.
Which one?
I was going to go on a
What's your favorite?
The Lion King was incredible.
Oh, that's cool.
That was absolutely incredible.
That's one of the top ones on Broadway, like all the time.
I
right?
do feel a little bit sad that I didn't go see what we're talking about today in person.
Oh, yeah, I've never seen it in person either. But we should talk about it because we know the most.
We should absolutely talk about it. We're going to talk about Hamilton, how it came to be, who it is, and how you pronounce it.
It's what if we just said it's Alexander Hamilton? Alexander Hamilton, and then we cut it off. That's what we're doing,
for
right?
a long time, and I think your kids did the same thing too. They sang that one.
Yeah.
You'll be
back.
Yeah, I
That's
love
great.
that. The actor, I don't know what his name is.
He's good. Mindhunter.
Oh my gosh, he's incredible.
Hey, how's it going? Welcome to the Tyler and Neil Explain Everything podcast. Now officially your fourth favorite podcast. Hit the subscribe button and make sure you go to patreon.com/explain everything to get exclusive episodes. Looks like we made it.
They are pretty exclusive episodes, right? Those Patreon ones.
Yeah, they are.
Okay.
So the way this works, if you are a first-time listener, welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, I welcome you more than Neil does, just so you know.
My name's Neil. That's Tyler. I don't nearly welcome you as much as he does.
He's giving his all, but it's like 75%.
I kind of head nod at you and I go, "Hey,
What's up? What's up? I'm walking down the hallway. What's up? You know what I do? I go, hey, what's up, man? And
How
then like
are
I give you
you?
I dap you up, which means like not a high five or a handshake. I feel really bad. There was a dude and he's really cool. And I went to go give him a high five. Like I meant to dap him up, but he was in his car and I wasn't. So I went in for a handshake and I felt like I was interviewing him. And I was like, man, I just made this college kid think I was dumb. Well, he's not a college kid anymore, but young guy think I'm dumb.
there's a guy named Mark Hankins that I met a long time ago.
Stop.
And he doesn't have a thumb on his right hand.
Mhm.
And I went to shake his hand
Just
and I
slipped
went
on
all
down.
the way up to his elbow.
Tickle it. They got it. Got you, little buddy.
I went, whoop. Hey, buddy. This is the Explain Everything podcast. That is Tyler. I'm Neil. What we're doing is in 30 minutes or less, we're going to do our very best to explain something to you. Odds are you might have heard about it. You might know a little bit about it, but we want to help you stay the smartest person in every room.
Because
that
you're already
in.
the smartest.
You're already there.
We just want to keep you there.
We want to keep you there.
Yeah, we're like, okay, you are LeBron James, and we are your trainer. We are that little incubator. He's
Working on them core muscles.
Oh, you got to get them abs flexing.
Yeah.
Do some planks, my guy.
Golly.
That's all we do is we stand next to him and go, do some planks, my guy. And he's doing
My
planks.
guy.
LeBron's like, stop it. And we're like, do some planks, my guy.
Did you see that TikTok of him? How all he does is he memorizes about 2 to 3 words or phrases in a rap song, and he waits until it gets to that spot, and he's sitting there. He's like, gonna do that. Yeah,
But I get that because it's hard to memorize stuff.
Yeah, it is.
He memorizes like every play from a basketball game. Like there's a lot to do.
Is
I love when he fake reads books. He'll come out with some random book and they'll be like, are you? He's like, it's just such a good book. Like, tell us about it. He's like, it's just so good.
it's good.
So many good parts.
Is he
It's
in
like
Hamilton?
me at every lit review in high school. That was so good,
It was
teacher.
great. It was great.
I'm sorry. What'd you say? Has he seen Hamilton?
No, is he in Hamilton?
Oh, is this some sort of like get back on topic, Tyler? We're talking about plays. You didn't ask me mine. I'll tell you my favorite. I actually got to see Emma Stone
I'm sorry, I
do
didn't.
Cabaret. I mean, it was the first
real?
play we went to. Yeah, I mean, besides like high school plays, but like, yeah, I saw that was really good. Really, probably better
Wow.
than anything you've seen. I'm just no big deal. I don't like to brag.
Yeah, I would say.
I don't like to speak in hyperbole, but the
Have you
greatest play ever
seen
made.
those plays where it's like it's a one-man performance, a one-man show? I cannot imagine captivating an audience for about 2 hours.
I would feel weird. I don't like acting.
This is only 30 minutes and there's 2 of us.
Yeah, and you're the best, and I like you.
I can barely keep this going.
We need more notes.
We need more notes.
I gotta cook.
Tell us everything you know about, because I think Tyler knows more.
I mean, my kids have rewatched it and listened to it. I literally went in my garage where it was like kind of my office area. I went in there last night after everybody went to bed and Hamilton songs are playing on my Google. Like, it's just like going through the whole play.
Last night?
Yeah.
Wow, that's recent.
Yeah. That's why I said, hey, let's do Hamilton today. I was like, oh, I've got an idea.
Okay.
But my kids love this and they're a big fan. Let's tell you how it kind of got started. So 2009 is whenever Lin-Manuel Miranda, he's the guy who created like the play and all of it. And the music, it started off not as a play, but it started off as just like a song that he created because he read Ron Chernow's. Is that how you say his name? Chernow.
Yeah.
He wrote a book. I was early. I think he wrote it in like 03, 04. But he wrote a biography of Alexander Hamilton. And Lin-Manuel Miranda was like, can I just call him Lin from here on out?
Sure.
So Lin, LMM, sounds like ASMR.
LM2.
LM2. LM squared.
Yeah.
LM
squared.
LM
Yeah,
squared.
that's easier to say.
That's definitely what we're going to say. So in 2009, he read that on like a vacation. He was like, oh my gosh, this would be a great rap mixtape. And so he made a song called Hamilton Mixtape was the name of the song. Okay.
Who reads a biography of Alexander Hamilton was like, man, this is going to be an incredible
good rap
mixtape.
I made a rap song called The Ballad of Brian Gosling. And I wrote a song. And it was about the brother of Ryan Gosling who always got overlooked by his parents. I never recorded it, but the problem is I can't sing or play music. And so it always gets in the way of all the rap songs I want to do.
I'll train you.
I'm on a boat.
I'll teach you.
And it's going fast. And so he was actually, they just came out with a movie called In the Heights. Didn't he?
Yes.
So
it did not do well.
Yeah, no, it didn't. But here's the thing. That was actually, the last couple play movies didn't do well. That and then Spielberg's movie.
West Side Story didn't do well just because
nobody watched it. Yeah, that's how we rate things that do well.
So since we did our Oscar episode and now I've watched it and it's amazing, but it's not like, wow, I can't wait to go see it again. What you're kind of marvel at is it's a period piece and a musical. And it's like, well, okay, that is fairly incredible what they pulled off, but I didn't like the movie, but I'm impressed with what they did.
Did you like In the Heights? You haven't seen it.
I saw
you just
10 minutes.
You're bad mouthing.
I saw 10 minutes of it.
You need to be careful. Now that Titus listens to the podcast, he takes what you say and acts like it's the truth. Like he will say Space Jam 2 is trash because you said it's trash.
Explaining everything.
And you just, this blasphemy. The greatest movie ever made. All right.
Don't you dare.
Family. Vin Diesel. If Vin Diesel would have been in that.
At the movies.
So he actually was invited. He was doing In the Heights, like a play, and he was invited to perform it for Obama at the White House. President Obama, sorry.
For real?
At the White House. Yeah, he was asked to do it.
So he did a one-man show.
He was going to show up and do like a piece from In the Heights. He showed up and said, hey, you know what? I'm not going to do that. I want to do this song about Alexander Hamilton that I've been working on. Dude straight up changed it last minute at the White House. Talk about the guts that dude took.
Crazy.
Hey, he's not going to waste his shot. See what I did there?
I see what you did.
Yeah, I thought of that as I was doing notes because I do notes.
That's
also.
incredible.
Did I do notes?
Thank
or did
you.
Yeah.
Both. Okay. What's wild about that is I wonder if Obama got to the end. He's like, "Hey man, that was awesome."
They did.
I want In the Heights. Where's In the Heights?
He's great. This is not the movie I came to see.
Where's the Heights?
This is not what I came to see here.
Yeah.
So here's the cool thing about how he developed this, because even then it wasn't supposed to be a play. He just did the song. Well, what he started doing was he's thinking, okay, I'm going to make an album. Like essentially wanted to make an entire album about Hamilton. So he started developing other songs. Now, the cool thing is you and I talk about this all the time. Whenever you're creating something or starting something, show people behind the scenes. Show them how, there's even a line from Hamilton. Show them how the meat gets made or the butcher something. You show them how you make it in real time.
Show don't tell.
Show don't tell. Yeah, he's doing all this stuff at these. He's like performing at college campuses. He performed at all these different places. He's doing the show, and he's developing songs as he does it. And he's performing them. He literally started calling these places he's performing focus groups, to where he's figuring out what works and what doesn't. What are they reacting to?
Do this
exactly. He's testing his material before he goes full on with it, and then he starts developing it like as an actual play.
Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Ricky Gervais does the exact same thing before he does a stand-up show. He does 30 events where he tells them, I'm working out new material and I want to know what you think. And so he gets people that are very invested in it. And he said he develops everything in that way.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he did.
Donald Glover, cool. Donald Glover, I love Donald Glover.
I do know that.
So he used to, he's in comedy he was on 30, he wrote for 30 Rock, and then he was on Community. He did a lot of comedy stuff, and he was in a sketch group. He also started doing stand-up comedy. He's got a couple stand-up specials. Well, he was trying to do that at like a club or something. He was trying to, you're going to leave? Bye. No. So Donald Glover was doing a stand-up thing, and he was talking through like with the audience, like, hey, I'm still developing a lot of this material. He was trying to work through it, like we just talked about with Ricky Gervais. And there was like a critic in the audience, and he wrote this like review, like this terrible review about his play or his stand-up, wrote a bad review about it. And Donald Glover went on Twitter and replied and was like, hey, I told you I was still developing this. You can blank a bag of blanks. So that was like one of the best insults ever. I can't fill in. It's a bad word,
don't
Mad Lib.
fill that in.
Cuss
Don't
word,
fill
Mad Lib. But he was really ticked at the guy because he was like, hey, I'm still developing this. And the guy acted like it was a completely done show. But I love that process. Do you think it makes things better whenever it's like, surprise, here's a full product?
No.
But that's every movie ever. Movies don't get to do it unless they.
The first movie that did it, Lord of the Rings.
How?
They started showing you behind the scenes stuff 2 years before the first movie.
Where did they show it though? There wasn't the internet.
It was
wasn't
online.
that popular.
Oh yeah, it was on YouTube. It was so they didn't have a whole lot to show for it because the scenes were just in the middle of being filmed. But what they did is they showed the way the weapons masters made the weapons, the way the dialect coaches worked with all the people, the way they made all the sets. They were on location. They were scouting. They didn't have the actual movie yet, but they had all the process behind it. 2 years before the first movie came out, they started doing it. Peter Jackson was one of the first ones to do it.
That couldn't have happened because those Lord of the Rings came out like in the early 2000s before YouTube, didn't they?
I'm telling you, it was on YouTube.
But it wasn't before because
I don't know.
We'll look it up. We're going to
okay.
solve this. Winner takes all. Winner gets their name at the beginning of the podcast.
You already have your name there.
I know, but that's only by default.
Lord of the Rings behind the scenes.
It was before. The first one came out in 01, 02, 03.
Well, I don't know how they did it, but
YouTube didn't come out in 2006. Explain yourself, Neil.
I went on a website and watched these videos.
No, it probably was on a website, just not on YouTube.
Okay.
I believe you.
Maybe it was on Vidler.
Was it Flickster? Wasn't that a picture, that
Yeah.
Instagram before Instagram? Yeah, somebody bought Flickster for a lot of money.
I love behind the scenes stuff.
It's cool.
So what you'll notice too, what happens is, okay, something like the Batman, think about the Spider-Man, all that kind of stuff. People start showing you things as you get closer to the actual event or the actual moment, because that behind the scenes stuff is what really piques people's curiosity. But they did it. Spider-Man did it really, really well without actually giving up the main spoiler.
Yeah, they're making people
Did you
think.
see that video of that guy who was on set for something completely unrelated, and he drove by the lot where they had the cast and crew sign a massive poster? It's huge. It's about as big as as like a tractor trailer. They did Spider-Man 3 is what it said. It didn't say No Way Home. It said Spider-Man 3. It had the logo on it, and then everybody had signed it. And he was on his phone. He was going by on a golf cart, and he just was like, hey, here's, whatever, blah. And he took a picture of it and posted it on his Instagram from what he thought was far away. Didn't realize that Tobey Maguire's name was directly under. So the studio, in less than 12 hours, had contacted him with a cease and desist order and made him take it down. And he didn't understand why. He went back and looked at the photo, and he found Tobey Maguire's. He cannot find
Andrew
Garfield's. Wow. But everybody's on there. So it could have spoiled it. He said it was about 3 months before the movie actually came out. Could have spoiled everything.
That's cool.
Sorry.
One of the best movies I've ever seen react to an audience showing them something beforehand was the Sonic the Hedgehog movie.
Yes.
They came out with that trailer,
and
people lost their mind. They're like, "What is wrong with his face?"
Yep.
And luckily, it wasn't Jim Carrey, because Jim Carrey is kind of stuck with that face. But like, you can change a CGI
He
face.
can change his face a lot.
He's the Grinch. 6 hours.
What?
Yeah, listen to our episode.
The Grinch.
The Batman Grinch, the Grinchy Batman. So that's what the new Batman. He's kind of Grinchy. His heart grew 3 times when he was
Something in the way.
Keep going.
Can't do it anymore. It hurts my throat.
So Hamilton, the way that he summarized, the way that LM squared, I was trying to think, the way LM squared summarized it, he said, "America then told by America now." And I love that.
That's really smart.
So much diversity, so much stuff that's actually relevant. And that's why I think like people are attracted to the story.
Yep.
And I mean, educators are using it all across the country, because it gets their kids to care about what they're saying, not like,
For real, it does.
hey, everybody, we're going to talk about the Industrial Revolution. And that's as far as we're going to get this year, because that's as far as we get every year.
Yep.
And so it's like teachers are able to show stuff that interests and intrigues their students. And so let's talk about records. At the 70th Tony Awards, you love the Oscars. Is that tonight?
It is tonight.
Because we're recording.
Yeah. At night. Yeah, it's tonight. The Oscars.
Okay, so which I guess would be in the past for you. Back to the Future. And so I included that clip in a recent card video I did with my kids, and my kids loved it because Titus, he likes that movie. Okay, and at the 7th Tony Awards, I realized I told a story that didn't matter, was not entertaining, was not education, had no value.
All of those things.
It was a true story, but not a good story.
The viewers and listeners are here for. Give the people what they want.
Titus, this better make you love me because I am talking about a topic you like. All right. We should have him on to do Sherlock Holmes.
We will do it. Okay. Titus, it's going to happen, man.
It's going to happen, man. So, sorry, I'm very emotional about
the 70th Tony Awards.
It's called the 20th Awards. They got a record-breaking 16 nominations for Hamilton.
That's like a sweeps at the Oscars.
Yeah,
like that is. But okay, so I'll say this about Hamilton: the amount of people that raved about it that don't ever go see a Broadway show or go to theater was what stood out to me the most.
Yeah.
It wasn't like, oh, I'm going to go watch them do, Wicked or My Fair Lady or, Book of Mormon or whatever. They raved about this because it was culturally now, but it had history laced through it. I had somebody tell me that, and I would say that they're fairly wealthy. They're like, Neil, you got to go get tickets while it's in New York with the original cast. It's like, how much do you think it is? It's like, I don't know. It could be like $500, $700 for a good. He was like, you're going to regret it if you don't. I don't regret it because I still have that.
You watched it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, I watched it on Disney Plus, and it was now. Would it be amazing to be there for the actual event? Yeah, but I just don't have that much money to go to New York and to do that.
Patreon.com/explain everything, Neil.
Thank you. I forgot about those.
Cash Money. Do you remember that show? Your Mama?
Yes.
Cash
Money. We say it a lot too.
I put that clip in an actual recent YouTube video I did with my kids. Sorry, see, there I am again. There I am again.
So they won 11 of their 16 nominations.
11 of their 16.
Okay. So you said that it shows Hamilton's life in 2 acts.
Yeah, I didn't say that. You did. You just read it in my notes. My notes that I wrote.
Said it in your notes.
No, I didn't. In the notes. So they do. It has 2 acts, and Act 2, if you've seen it, starts. Spoiler alert. If we're 250 years.
If you don't
heard
know
of Hamilton,
by now,
when Jefferson's coming home. Thomas Jefferson's coming home. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that's good. I was just like, it's like I'm there.
So it's like you could tell because like LM squared.
El Chapo.
I always want to say LH squared. LM squared. If I say LH squared, no, that's Lin-Manuel Miranda as well. Just to save time, you guys.
Here too after.
To save y'all time. So Lynn gets to stay as Alexander Hamilton. The ladies, the main ladies get to stay as their main ladies, but everybody else, and George Washington stays George Washington. Everybody else plays another character.
Yeah.
So it's like everybody's like Hercules Mulligan now plays like what John Adams or something. Hercules Mulligan. That was, man, it's such a good show.
It is really good.
And but who's your favorite? Who's your favorite from the whole thing?
The King.
Oh, he's so good.
He's my absolute favorite.
He's so good. So the white guy? Wow, Neil. Wow. Who's your favorite basketball player? Larry Bird. Wow, you're done. Have you seen that TikTok? I'm sorry, I'm cutting you off so that you can sound racist. No. And this TikTok goes, this like white guy's like, he's like, yeah, best basketball players, my top 5, Larry Bird, Pete Maravich, John Stockton, Gordon Hayward. And he's like, what? They're the best, man. That's just my opinion.
Oh my gosh. That is funny. I loved when he came on. So when he came on screen, he captivated.
Yeah.
I was like, oh my gosh, he is overacting probably more than what I've seen anybody do, to the point where he's spitting and drooling.
He does that whenever
it's unreal.
That wasn't supposed to happen. That just happens because the people thought, oh, he's doing that because that king went mad later in life.
Yeah.
They thought that was him going mad.
Okay.
It's not. He's a spitter when he sings.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it worked. I was like, this guy is so into it. And it was one of the things, and my kids have sang a lot of the songs from this, but that's the one where they're just walking around the house. They'll sing that one.
Yeah, they love it.
I leave and I'm going to go to the store.
You'll be back.
Yeah. Yep.
So good.
Going, no, I'm just going to the store for a couple minutes.
My kids memorized the opener where it's like he's a blank word.
Oh my
Son
gosh.
of a blank. So we had to tell Finn, like, hey, Finn, don't say that word. But we let Titus couldn't watch any movies till he was like 3 or 4, and Finn's watched Hamilton at 4. Because like by your third kid, you're just like, they'll figure it out, you know?
All right. So what's not correct?
So let's not correct. So let's talk about like opening stuff. Okay.
Okay.
It started off Broadway at the Public Theater, and it was sold out. Okay. When it opened on Broadway, had a multi-million-dollar advance in ticket sales. You don't think of multi-million when you think of a play.
Yeah.
But it was apparently taking in like 30 mil before it even opened.
I would say that's successful.
That's hype. You know why? It's because your friend, he recommended it to people. And
my friend's, his name is Lin-Manuel Miranda.
LH squared.
LH squared?
Yeah, remember I told you I was going to probably mess that up. So I just went ahead and did it. I just broke through that.
Okay, so $30 million before it actually opened, that's pretty incredible.
It's more than we made for the opening of our season 2, but barely. And so is that sad that we talk about that? We need to stop.
It's okay.
It's funny. We do whatever. Nobody's disagreeing in real time.
No, it's funny.
It's fine. So let's talk about like a lot of it, like they're showing in history classes. Let's talk about what wasn't correct. So some of it that wasn't correct was the timeline. Like he didn't walk into a bar and meet Aaron Burr and like 3 other notable historical. Yeah,
Aaron
no joke.
Burr.
Like the fast forward 2 months. Hey, what's up? I'm blah blah blah. Like some of it was done to like move the pace of it along.
I get that. Yeah.
But it's not like some of it like, oh my gosh. Hello. Test.
It sounds great.
Okay, you're trying to silence me?
No.
Okay. So another one was like he promoted diversity, and then he also acts like Hamilton was like super anti-slavery. He wasn't like a super against. Oh, there's the timer starting. That's what you were indicating. Okay, I see that I'm almost out of time. He was just pretty against slavery. Like that's the thing. Like they addressed it a few times, but a lot of these founding fathers weren't as against it as they should have been. Obviously, that was...
Yeah, that's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal. All right. Also, Angelica.
Yeah.
And my kids always go, and Peggy. Okay, I get it.
I didn't do it.
You did it on purpose.
It just did it.
No, you just started it.
That's our 21-minute mark.
Okay, so I'll wrap. I get 60 seconds to wrap it up. I get it. All right. Angelica wasn't as like into him as they make it sound. They make it sound like they loved each other. They liked each other, but he actually made a pass at her, I think, in a letter, or he tried to flirt with her, and she shut it down. So it's like they weren't. And then Burr wasn't as close. Like Burr's integrated. He's almost like the narrator of the play, but he's not as integrated into his life as you would think. All right. That's pretty much the gist of it. Okay. The end. Bye. That's it. Bye. I'm done. What's your favorite? Who's your favorite person in the whole thing?
Aaron Burr.
Aaron Burr, sir.
Aaron Burr.
Lafayette. I like Jefferson probably. Daveed Diggs is my favorite in the whole thing.
Do you remember the Aaron Burr commercials?
Yes, got milk.
With peanut butter.
Yeah, got milk.
Yeah. He's eating a sandwich.
Because he needed to wash it down with milk.
But he can't actually remember he can't say the line on a radio, on a call-in radio show. And it's Aaron Burr.
Then he has like all these like memorabilia, like all this stuff. That's the majority. That is the bulk of what I knew as a person who took like 13 years of majored in history in college. And what I knew mainly about Alexander Hamilton and Aaron Burr, mainly Aaron Burr, was that he shot Alexander Hamilton because of that commercial.
So as a political science major, this is a big deal to you.
Yeah, this Hamilton. Is awesome. I love it. Yeah. It's just weaving in.
I think what it does, right.
It captivates you. It's not boring. And most of history is boring.
Yeah.
And like the most interesting thing you can do is talk about different people's perspectives. Like, hey, guess what? 1776 wasn't freedom for a lot of the country, but we don't want to talk about that. We want to act like it was the greatest day in history, even though it was like the worst day in history for a lot of people. And so, but you don't want to talk about that. So
Hamilton called Burr a dangerous man and ought not to be trusted with the reins of government.
Yeah, that's when he was running for, I think, New York governor or New York, something in New York.
He ran for the governor of New York.
Yeah.
But he lost to Morgan Lewis in a landslide. I always think that's a funny way to say things.
Landslide?
Man. Well, you lost in a landslide.
It's probably because you start close, and then like in a landslide, it speeds up as it gets to the bottom. Like you start losing worse and worse. Maybe that's why.
I think maybe it's because you get covered up by dirt.
Yeah. Clouds and dirt. That's a Gary Vee saying.
Okay. In the middle of the day yesterday, I was doing yard work, and all I could think about, I don't have any music in. I don't have anything going on. I'm just doing yard work. You know what I'm thinking about? How am I going to survive an avalanche? I honestly started going through the process of what you do with your body, how you curl up, where you put your arms and legs, and then how do you know which is up and which is down?
Did you research it, or are you just like thinking through ideas?
I have researched it, but then I just wanted to make sure that I was always disaster preparedness ready for an avalanche.
For avalanches.
Is that bad?
Yeah. Well, I mean, here's the deal. They're a very popular vehicle, and so you never know when one might attack. You know what I mean?
It's that or an Aztec.
Yeah.
All right,
my most underappreciated reference of all time was the Pontiac Aztec.
It was very good.
Thanks, man. It's all the only thing I've ever done in my life I'm proud of. All right, 3v3.
You act so surprised.
Welcome to the party, pal. This is 3v3.
Before we do this, I want to mention my favorite TikTok that was referenced in this.
Yes.
They talk, because everybody in the play, in the first and second act, there's a lot of actors that play the same thing. And I think it was John Lawrence. He ended up playing like Alexander Hamilton's son, in the second act. Like he was John Lawrence's friend.
Yeah.
He dies, blah, blah, blah. And then he becomes his son in the second act. And there's a TikTok. And whenever, Hamilton cheats on his wife and does the Reynolds pamphlet, and they're like, you want to get all mad about that? You think I haven't noticed our son looks exactly like John Lawrence? It's like my favorite TikTok.
That is pretty funny.
Pretty good. Pretty good. Okay, 3v3. Here's what I'm thinking. Let's actually go and make it a 3v3. You and I, we're playing 3-on-3 basketball.
Okay.
We're going to pick our team. So that means we get 2 teammates.
Okay.
I'll let you go first. And it's actors from the play as that character.
I am going to say, so I have to say the actor's name, or could I say the character that they're playing?
Character they're playing.
I'm going to go with Thomas Jefferson.
Dang it. That would
Is
have
that
been a good
bad?
one. No, it would have been a good one.
Oh.
Okay. Lafayette,
Oh.
which is the same actor plays both
Yes.
of them.
Okay, we basically just split that one.
And
So we're
well,
even
no,
right now.
because
No.
mine jumps on a table. So mine's a hooper.
Had I known, okay, I'm going to say one, and you don't have it in the notes here. You have Peggy Schuler, you have Philip Hamilton, you have Hercules Mulligan. I think I would say Philip Seymour Hoffman is probably one
He's
of
a
the
character
best
in the play?
No, he's not, but he should have been. He'd done incredible.
Yeah, he passed away.
I'm going to say he did.
Hunger Games.
No,
He was in Hunger Games,
yes.
but he didn't die in the Hunger
No,
Games.
that's okay.
He died during
For
the third Hunger
clarity's
Games.
sake, to our listeners,
He wasn't murdered by Katniss.
Hey, listener, Philip Seymour Hoffman did not die in the Hunger Games.
Allegedly.
Oh my gosh. I'm going to say Hercules Mulligan.
I was going to pick that. Yes. I was excited when you were like, well, I'm going to say this, blah, 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 Philip Seymour Hoffman to make a joke. Here's my thing. I'm going George Washington.
Oh,
He's taller than everybody else.
not by much. It's just the way they painted him.
Here's the problem. I think he'd be the first to score, but after he scores 2 times, he's going to be like, I'm out. And I'm like, you need to score some more.
He doesn't have the stamina.
No, he
No,
quit
he
after
doesn't.
2 turns.
Yeah,
See, that's the reference I was trying to make, but you passed it.
Oh my gosh. That's good.
I'm the worst.
Nope. That's great.
Yeah.
You know what's even better?
And then we go to play, and then somebody comes like, and Peggy.
Peggy, you sit down.
Hey, will it rock?
The question on everyone's mind, will it rock? The answer is probably yes.
What would Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson do in actual history?
Oh, that's a good one.
Like not in the play, not any of that kind of stuff, but he is living during this time.
American Revolution. Well,
Yes.
first off,
American Revolution.
He's not a generic white guy, so they wouldn't let him do anything. So we're pretending that like he's allowed to do it as someone who's not a basic white guy.
Yeah.
Okay,
We'll say
great.
that. We'll say
so okay, so we have to gloss over the fact that entire races of people were
Yes. Yeah.
enslaved.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Yeah, that's fine, Neil. Let's
that.
just
And we don't have to prefer Mel Gibson in this. His character is not. We don't know.
Okay, great.
No.
The Patriot. All right. So here's my thing. If Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson,
Yeah.
again, pending, racism, slavery, all that jazz. This is so ridiculous. I'm sorry. This is terrible. on so many levels.
This is good.
Pending that, The Rock is he is freaking Goliath.
Yes.
During
Yeah.
the
During
American
that
Revolution
time.
Hunger Games.
They're tiny people.
Yeah. He is because George Washington was like the average height of a man back then was like 5'6", 5'7".
And what was he?
He was like 6'2", I think. I'm pretty sure he was 6'2".
I'm taller than George Washington.
You are now, but back then you would have been a giant. Like literally people looked up to him because they literally looked up to him. And I said literally twice there. Shouldn't have. Should have only said it the second time.
Essentially.
Essentially, literally, vis-a-vis, concordantly, George Washington. And so whenever Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson's there, he's like he's an achiever. So he's going to always try to rise. He's like got that Hamilton achiever, hard work ethic, but also he's built like a tank.
Yeah,
okay.
they didn't even have tanks.
He's going to take a couple bayonets to the chest, pull them out, like the Punisher Russian guy kind of situation.
Can the first bayonet bend on his chest? Like, bing,
Bang, breaks off. He looks at him, does a little eyebrow, and then picks him up and just like breaks an overpass. Sorry, have to bring that up. And I think he is our first president. He intimidates
Oh my gosh.
and pressures them into electing a president.
Yes.
And he is still our president today. He never stops. He becomes the king of our country. He develops some sort of thing where he does not die, and he is our president. forever.
And our king.
And our king. He'll be back. Never leave.
This could be the greatest Will It Rock ever.
It's the truest.
I mean, my gosh, he would absolutely be he would be legendary even without having to do some of those things.
Oh gosh, yes.
They would tell tales of him because there was nothing to like fact check.
Again,
him.
only if he's a white guy.
Yeah.
If he's not a white guy, we can't tell tales of him.
Yeah,
we
already covered that though.
Pretend like only white guys did things.
Yes.
That's the rule of history because
thanks, history.
History is
Hamilton.
Alexander Hamilton.
So this is I recently came to Little Rock. I didn't have a chance to go see it. You said that
I didn't.
Amanda did.
Amanda and Ezra. So we talked about going to see it, Amanda and I did, and then Amanda calls me up and says, "Hey," it was like the day that Saturday. She calls me up. She said, "Hey, so Abigail, it's one of Amanda's friends, and her daughter is dancing with Ezra. I'm also related to him. But anyways, she goes, yeah, so they have 2 tickets and, we can go. I'm like, oh, okay. They sat on the like second or third row.
Oh my gosh.
They said it was incredible.
Probably got spit on.
By the British guy.
Yep.
Well, he wasn't there.
All right, this is Hamilton. Hopefully you guys learned a little bit. Yes.
Yeah.
Yep. Hopefully you guys will learn a little bit about it. And if you have a chance, go watch it on Disney Plus.
Yeah, super
It's
good.
great. It is
but
great.
there's cussing.
Yeah, don't fast forward past those parts.
If you have one kid, your first kid, don't let him watch it. But if you have 3 kids, by then it's
Third
just
kid.
like whatever.
Yep, for sure.
It'll buff out.
So there it is.
Should I stop? Do you want me to
Yes.
get my line? Oh, we're almost at 32 minutes. We better stop.
Yep.
Thank you guys for coming on TED Talk.
Bye.
Thanks for listening to the Explain Everything podcast. You can follow us on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube at Explain Everything Podcast. We're on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, but you're already here. We love you. No, actually, we're in love with you. Thanks for coming on our TED Talk. Bye.